Well, hello, folks. Well, after all the bragging I did about it being summertime in the last photo, it's a bit chilly this morning. Had to sweatshirt up. Anyway, maybe it'll keep me from sweating so bad inside that hot box. Yeah, that one. I'm going to do some more work on the inside, so heck, let's get after it. Well, it may not be really noticeable, but I went ahead and put all the skeleton pieces in all the way to where the front piece is over the cab of the vehicle. That means I can put ceiling in all the way to here. So we'll see how it works out. I also did in the bathroom. So here we go. I'll probably fast forward a bunch of this because it's going to be a whole bunch of the same old. These shorter pieces are lots easier to place. Should be about 52 1/4 inches, but I'm going to make sure on each one of them. Yep, be right back. Closing the freezer because it's actually working. Just like brand new, only better. I'm going to go eat lunch. Alrighty, back from lunch break. Got my coffee. And it's time to get after it again. Must have hit a screw again. There's some force behind that. Well, you saw me check the camera, and it ran for about another 30 seconds and quit. That's the way it goes. I didn't even make it back inside, and it was done. It was out of memory. So anyway, it didn't show you getting the ceiling built to here and installing the second big LED light. But anyway, I got it to here. I've got this much more to do on the ceiling in the living quarters, and then this little ceiling in here. And then it's trim work. Well, not really trim work. I've got to rebuild the cabinets that I took out of that wall, and I will take the window out and reseal it and reinstall the window fully, and then I'm getting a lot closer. I don't know, folks. Let me show you from my perspective. From my perspective, if I hide that part, it's looking pretty good. Anyway, we'll get after it. Well, hopefully the measurements were right. Nope, gonna have to trim just a skosh. Oh, there, I made that harder than it needed to be. Well, I believe that'll be it for that far. I got to figure out which one of these projects I want to do next. It'll be a surprise to me too. Well, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get this all filmed. I'll tell you what my plan is. Before I put the ceiling in the bathroom, there's a little bit of cleanup I need to make. Let me see if I can squeeze in here. Okay. Here's the problem. I need to clean out behind where some of this has been peeled and then little stuff has fallen down in here. I'm gonna pull it out just a hair more and get it cleaned out so I can use contact cement and glue that down. And there's a bunch of places where it's like that. A bunch of little places like that where the molding was pushing against it, and I'm pretty sure it's just temperature changes have made that do weird things like that. So I'll probably have to take that chunk of molding off and see if I can straighten it up behind it. And just a few spots. It shouldn't be too bad. Well, it's not perfect, folks. And the solvent in the contact cement kind of softened up that vinyl. So it didn't lay down as good as I was hoping. But it's better than it hanging out with a bunch of garbage behind it from a falling apart roof. So anyway, this is the result. Like I say, it's not perfect. Looks like wrinkledy old paint, but it's vinyl. I took that molding off and got it glued back on. So I think we're good to go for putting on a roof or a ceiling. Well, folks, this is where I'm going to end it for today's video, or the last few days' video. I've got about 3 hours of video to edit down to hopefully about 30 minutes. At any rate, thanks for joining me, folks, and y'all have a good one. Well, in case anybody's wondering what the weather's been doing, I keep getting these dark clouds coming over, and it did sprinkle a little bit a while ago, but nothing to write home about.